Hey there, anybody that's out there, how are you? I was excited to come on live today and talk with you guys about acceptance. And what I'm hoping is at the end of the call, I'm going to try to keep this brief. I challenge myself on that all the time because I have so much that I always want to share. But I would love it if one of you who hops on wants to come and join me. And if you need to know how to do that, you can go down in the comments, and I posted a picture of what the toolbar looks like. And there's a button that you can push and you can join me. So do that at the end, and I'd love to have one of you on, because today we're talking about acceptance. I wanted to share some thoughts about acceptance because it is We Heart Women here on the Laughter, Light, and Love page. And one of my passions with regard to that is loving ourselves. And that sounds great in theory, but sometimes that's hard to do on a daily basis. And sometimes we just don't know why. And one of the my favorite concepts in coaching to talk about is acceptance. Now, that you may wonder, well, what does that look like? What are you talking about when you refer to acceptance? And when I first started talking about this, I was torn because it seems like what I'm talking about there is acceptance, like accepting what people do to you and so forth. But it's really about accepting the adversity that we have in our life. And what does that mean? What does the adversity mean? It means our past. And in our past, there's people. Maybe it was people in our past. Maybe it's things that we've done in our past that have caused us to feel some sort of way. Maybe it's shame or guilt or fear. Just the adversity in general. Maybe the things we've been through in life. Or that then cause the limited beliefs that go on up here, or the false truths that we tell ourselves. So these concepts and everything else that I share with coaching or speaking, or even in my comedy, I share it's an age-old philosophy that our beliefs, what we believe, it ushers in, that's what we think, and then that's what we feel. And then that affects our choices. And then our choices then affect our behavior, decisions, things we decide to do or not do in this world. So my hottest button when talking to women is this: stepping into our power and stepping into our magnificence. And that in no way implies, woman power, that the men don't count too, but it's stepping into our power as women and showing up in the magnificence that we were when we were born. We were all born with magnificence, but these things happen in our lives, and sometimes things happen. And so let's just take, for example, you have a little girl who she's just living her life out loud. And then something happens along the way, and maybe somebody tells her, you're not so quite magnificent, or you shouldn't shine so bright. And then we start to play it small. And then that changes everything else. And maybe even as an adult, we're not showing up in the full-blown magnificence that we were born to. So a few concepts I want to give today that lead toward hope, if you are feeling this way. If there are, again, choices you've made, things that are causing you feelings like shame that are just weighing you down, and you say, you know what, I'm just going to bury that, and I'm not going to be able to shine. You may not even physically say that to yourself, but it may be something you feel. 3 things with regard to hope that I want to share with you. And one is that if you're feeling this way, there's always hope. You can always work through the stages of acceptance and acknowledging acknowledging that first of all, the best thing to do is acknowledge and have an awareness that this is happening. And that's why I wanted to do this Facebook Live, to bring awareness to the fact that sometimes we do this to ourselves as women. Because then what happens is sometimes we have the awareness, and then we might go back into doubt. And then we might go back into trusting that there's hope that we could ever overcome any of these things that we are feeling, or allowing ourselves to, allowing this to push ourselves down. There's a concept that I love, and it's the fact that we have a right and left hemisphere in our brain. So the right side of our brain is the creative side. That's the one that says, it causes us to, do the karaoke and do all the creative things. And then there's the left side of the brain that's designed to protect us. It keeps us from touching the stove, things that can cause pure tragedy in our lives, touching the stove, running out in front of the road, keeping you from letting your Kohl's cash from expiring. I mean, we don't want that to happen. So that's the logical side of us, but they can counter each other. And sometimes that logical side of us starts to tell us, okay, you've done this in your life, and you can't be this because you made this choice. And you can't, thank God for that side of our brain, but we can't always listen to that. We have to trust that intuition and that authenticity that is inside of us, to trust that there is more for us. So the other concept that I wanted to share today is that we are made up of two different types of women, if you will. We are made up of our authentic version of ourselves and the wounded version of ourselves. And like I said in the beginning, sometimes that wounded version of ourselves shows up because of things in our life, things that people wanted us to believe about ourselves, or that we ended up believing about ourselves. And I hate to see that happen. If this speaks to you, and this is something that you find that you're going through, and this is just an enlightenment that you hadn't really thought about, again, just remember the other part that I said, that there is hope to step out of this. And there's many ways to do that. I talked about on the last call, I think it was, about finding your tribe, finding, knowing, having someone that you trust, that can speak truth into your life and can speak truth about who you are as your real, true, authentic self. Because our mind, our limited beliefs are going to let us believe all sorts of things. And that is not what, that is not going to help us shine and show up in a big way, and help us to really shine that authenticity that we have to give into the world. And, part of it too is like, why do we care about this? It's because, we want to show up with ourself as a peaceful, joyful, we want to live our lives that way. We were born and meant to be peaceful. But sometimes, somewhere along the way, we can feel that just waning, and it's on a daily basis. So if we can sort through the things that are going through our mind, that is how we end up showing up in the world sometimes, as maybe snarly, maybe angry, because of the things that we're trying to process in our brain. If you guys have any questions along the way, just add them on here. I would love to answer them, or to talk to you about things that it might be on your mind. So those are just the main points that I wanted to give you right now. It's so challenging for me when I do these Facebook Lives, because as a coach, there's so much that I want to share. And I don't want to just have everybody feel like they're drinking out of a fire hose. Right now, I'm actually developing, I think it's going to be about a 6-week program for women to come and join me, and just we can just sort through these things, and then it's going to involve some live coaching. So I'm really excited about that, because this is where we can dive in further. Because we are all, I know I've mentioned this before, we are all like an onion. And inside of that onion, under all those layers, is this little pot of gold, if you will. And that's that true, authentic version of ourselves. The one that hasn't had anybody telling them the lies, telling whether it's ourselves or somebody else. And that pot of gold is what is going to just be a powerhouse in this world. But we can only do so much on Facebook Live, but in these sessions, we can peel back the layers of the truths of what's really going on. And acceptance is just a small little part of the puzzle in showing up in our authentic way. There's so many things. I mean, when I'm considering my hot buttons for this course are going to be our truth telling our stories, trying to show up and tell the truth about ourselves, healing. That there is a real chance for healing. There's so many people that have grown up in this world, and people have told them that their worthiness, that magnificence is for somebody else. And that is not the case. We can work and heal through those things and figure out, everybody has a different story. That's why in this course that I'm putting together, I want every woman to start with her story, because we have to start by telling the truth about what our story really is, and then diving in to all the layers of the onion and peeling back and scaling back and scaling back. And then on the other side, I just see transformation for so many women that feel that this speaks to. If this speaks to you, how exciting would it be to have transformation on the other side, where the relationships in your life look different? Starting with the relationship with yourself. That would be so exciting to me, to see women transform and give themselves a break, and to show up as they're just their most magnificent self. Talking about all the different types of ways we show up in the world. You know, there's a real live thing called woman energy and mother energy and daughter energy. That's an age-old concept of the adult showing up as an adult, or showing up as a child, or showing up as a parent. Like the parents take care of everybody. The children act like children, even if you're a grown adult. But it's about rising to the adult version, or the empowered version, woman version of yourself. So, oh, Sherry, yeah, in the beginning, I'll talk about it. I'll recap it real quick, but when I talked about acceptance, I talked about it in the beginning. It was about how do we accept the things in our past, whether it's adversity, our own limited beliefs, because our beliefs then usher in our thoughts, and then ultimately helps us make our choices. And sometimes we don't make great choices because we're just playing it small in the world. So that's what I was talking about. If you go back and catch the beginning, I talk about that. So those were the main points I just wanted to talk to you guys about today. We could always dive further, but I just want to encourage you guys that if you are feeling something, first of all, feel that feeling. Just, honor that. Honor that there's a beginning and a middle and an end to everything. And when we honor how we're feeling, and we have that notion that we're not showing up in the way that we want to, then we're on to something. And there's a lot of different steps that you can take from there. And you can contact me if you want to walk through these things together. I have friends that do this, and I could refer you to somebody. So let me see if there's any other questions on here. Does anybody want to hop on live with me? That would be fun. I see there's a lot of people on, but I don't see any other questions. So anyway, authentic versus wounded self. That can show up, if we don't heal the things that are on the inside of us, we can end up showing up the way it can manifest itself, even the way we are living our lives with our children. We might be holding back some sort of a magnificence, and then we carry that with us every single day. And then the way that we show up in the world might just seem maybe agitated or angry, because we know that authentic version of ourselves is not, we're not showing up in that way. Does anybody have any questions or anything that you'd like me to elaborate on? I would love to do that. It's so good to see all of you. How are you? Okay, so I want to end with this. I'm going to elaborate on some more of these points on some other Facebook Lives. So that was just all I wanted to leave you guys with today, is some encouragement that you were born beautiful. You were born to do and be, and just don't let the limited beliefs inside of your head tell you that you are not meant to do that. There's a song that I want to share with you guys. Now, one of my favorite things to do is I love music, and this song is by the Bee Gees, and I'm going to post this in the comments. This song is called How Deep Is Your Love? And one of my favorite things to do is to take a song, and I know that it was written with a particular meaning. It was probably created for a particular reason, but art is open for interpretation. So I just love to take a song, and I love to think about it having a different meaning. So I'm going to share this song with you, and it's called How Deep Is Your Love by the Bee Gees, which I love the Bee Gees. Oh, the world. I mean, when I'm just feeling down, I just turn on my favorite songs, and some of my favorite artists are the Bee Gees. It does sound like they're walking on Legos a lot of the times when they hit those high notes, but listen to the song. I just want to tell you about a couple of the lyrics, and just take this with a grain of salt. It's not every word is literal, but just think about this. It says, I know your eyes in the morning sun, and I feel you touch me in the morning rain. In a moment that you want, in the moment that you wander far from me, I want to feel you in my arms again. I just wanted you to just take a minute and think about this song. What if it was written for you and your true authentic self? Just listen to the words with that context, and it's kind of fun. It's basically talking about how they're there and then they're gone again. And that just reminds me of when we wane from what we know is true about ourselves, and then we wander far from that. And then it says, how deep is your love? I really mean to learn. Like, I think all of us really mean to learn how much we love ourselves or how worthy we are. We mean to do that, but then something speaks to us, or we wander far from that again. And it says, because we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down when they all should let us be. Now, my heart and my soul never wants to call anybody a fool, but I have had to tell myself that there are some fool concepts up there in my brain that are telling me the opposite of what I know I need to do. And I need to trust my authentic self and strive and work toward uncovering that, instead of letting the wounded version or the wounded, the voices that speak to us. I don't want to say voices because the voices are speaking to me, but I'm talking about those limited beliefs that we have. That is a fool concept. They are fool concepts, and they need to let us be. And just listen to the song. I'm going to post it in the comments. You know the door to my very soul. You're my light in the deepest, darkest hour. Now listen, this page is Laughter, Light, and Love. This is not necessarily a Christian platform. Everybody is welcome. Come as you are, wherever you are on your journey, whatever. I am Christian, and I do believe, I know where my deepest light comes from, and it says, you're my savior when I fall. I know who my real savior is, but just take this with a grain of salt. Listen to the song, and just think about getting back in touch with your truths, showing up with the magnificence that you are. And I just want to share this with you. I wish I actually would have started with this. If there are things that you have done in your life that have caused you shame or guilt, you don't have to hang on to that anymore. There are so many women that I talk to that feel the things that they have done that have caused them shame, whether they're big or small things, they have been weighing women down for years. And it is with my faith that I know we are forgiven. I know that, and I know we are loved. And I hate to see any woman carrying that with her around. And that's just something we're just carrying around on our back, or it's like a weight around our neck. And that is a surefire way to let the way that we are accepting the things in our life steer our life and our thoughts and our beliefs and our choices. I ask you, is there something that you want to do, even if it's showing up more peacefully in this world? Is there something that you want to do that you aren't doing? And when you really think about it, it's because of the thoughts that you're allowing your mind to hold you captive. Is that the case? So, gosh, there's a lot of you on here. It's good to see you. I just want to leave you with that encouragement today. I love all the notes that you guys have been sending me after these Facebook Lives. It's just very encouraging, and I'm glad that these are speaking to you. And if, again, I can only touch on a few short concepts today, but if there's something I can help you with, please let me know. You guys can probably tell I am down here in the cubbyhole. It's that space in our basement that we use to do comedy and things. But the tagline of the cubbyhole, as you can see there, is it's the cubbyhole, a place for laughter, light, and love. And that's why this page is called Laughter, Light, and Love. It's a takeoff of the cubbyhole here in our basement. And it is my mission in life to reach women everywhere, to connect women even worldwide, as if I'm blessed that this platform that I love so much grows, and speaking and going out and reaching women. But it is also about connecting. So if you have something that you can share that might help another woman, please put that in the comments. But this space here at the cubbyhole, I've been wanting to do cubby clips, is what they're called. And I thought, why not do the Facebook Lives down here, to just do little clips to bring you all a little bit of light and some love. And then that's a ripple effect, and we go out and all do that for one another. But we can't do any of that until we heal that stuff that's on the inside. And so that's why my question for you today and last night when I posted is, what is it that you're struggling with? But just understand that there is hope in that. And this is how I feel for us as women. It is our responsibility to heal all of those things that we're keeping tucked down, because there is so much that we can do, and it starts with just showing up in a peaceful way. But there is a possibility for healing, and I think I probably said that a few times, but that's because I really mean it. Okay, I'm going to post the song. Listen to it for fun, and you know what? Even just listen to it, because it's just a fun song that makes you feel light on your feet, and spring is coming. And but just listen to it and just get that we You know, how deep is ask yourself, how deep really is your love for you? Is your love for yourself worth showing up in a way that isn't weighed down by shame or anything that had to do with any of your choices? How are you accepting, maybe you were teased as a kid. How are you accepting that? Are you accepting that as truth, or is it fake news? So anyway, I love all of you. I hope this was helpful. I really am looking forward to this program. I'm going to go back up in my office and continue designing it because I am so passionate about sharing so much with all of you. And we're going to dig deep, much deeper into anybody's life that that takes part in that program. So, and I'm excited that there's going to be live coaching calls involved so that we can sort through together as a group. Okay, I will talk to you guys. I hope you have a great Friday, and I'll see you all later. Bye-bye. Bye from the cubbyhole. Bye-bye.